but Yoshi had most recently been with the rats.
Then Hamato Yoshi is you!
My 4 young wards nicknamed me Splinter, for obvious reasons.
Coming up on Crossfire Collectibles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1/18 scale Splinter from JoyToy. Stick around. What's up, and welcome to Crossfire Collectibles. Today's video, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1/18 scale figure of Splinter by JoyToy. So, one of the newest additions from the 1/18 scale Ninja Turtle line that JoyToy is doing, and we got Splinter. There's a few more we have coming. I don't think we're going to get the Toka and Razor slash the Triceratons, not that, but we are going to get a few others. But here is Splinter, and we'll go ahead and check out his packaging. So here you see the figure in there. He's got a bunch of accessories, 4 actual turtles here. Some more accessory weapons up there. Look at the bottom of the box, Nickelodeon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, same at the top. On the side, some warnings over here. Pretty nice looking figure art of Splinter. Around to the back, here he is in a few poses. Here's your authentic Nickelodeon hologram. And now, without further ado, we will go ahead and pop this open. But first, please subscribe to the channel. Alright, so Splinter the Rat. This wave consisted of just Splinter and April. We did order April. We're currently waiting on her, so that will be the next Ninja Turtle figure we get. But for now, we just have Splinter, and we'll go ahead and show off everything in the plastic dungeon like so. So, very neat. We're gonna go ahead, pop everything out, go over it one by one, and see what we got.
Turtle power!
Alright, so here is Splinter and all of the accessories out of the packaging, and we're going to start from left to right. First up, we have a Ninja Turtle stand, so the regular, more flat, circular stand in case you want to go more traditional. We don't use these, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that aside. Next, looks like we have a little practicing stand here. So 2 planks on a pole, it looks like some wrapped bamboo. There's a slice through the top right here, so maybe you just slice through it and it's kind of just, I don't know, balancing on there. But pretty neat. A couple different tones of colors in here. You have that kind of gray-green, as well as a gray rope around it, and then the brown for the wood. First pair of weapons, looks like a set of kamas here. So, nice little metallic sheen to it. Blade looks really cool. I like the little hooks at the end. You have some off-white wrapping around the handles there. They're pretty nice. Alright, we have 4 different turtles here. Now, I'm not sure who is who, but we'll start with this one. So he's kind of sunken in his shell a bit. You know, just kind of waddling. But pretty neat. Pretty detailed too. Dark brown shell, green skin. It's got little black beady eyes, yellow for the bottom of the shell. Pretty neat. Second turtle, he has the legs out and he's kind of crawling around. This also could be maybe an evolution as they're, you know, just transforming, I guess, but I really do think it's just, you know, the 4 basic turtles we know in the regular turtle form. Next, we have a turtle practicing martial arts. So, pretty funny. It's got this funny little stance. Looks pretty nice. And then the 4th one, this one's kind of just striking a pose here. You got one hand off to his side, the other up above his head. Maybe he's practicing some martial arts too, but I can't really tell from that particular pose. But it's pretty nice. They all stand up pretty well. Moving on, we have a cane. So this is more of a darker brown, pretty much black. So it looks pretty good, lots of detail on it, and it looks really nice. I think he's definitely going to end up using this. Alright, so now onto his main stand, and here you have, like we saw with the first 4 turtles, you have that manhole cover, a little bit of cracked street, a lot of detail in here. You have some black wash, almost looks like airbrushed on there. You have some metallic silver here on the manhole cover itself, some brown for the bricks. We showed off how to connect these before. They all interlock and it makes almost like a throwing star looking kind of base, and it looks pretty good. But there's that. Now we have a couple of these throwing spikes here. Got metallic silver, a little bit of black wash on them. They look pretty good, almost gunmetal, but they still have too much of a shine. Here you have this like a makeshift sai. Looks like something that was kind of constructed, probably using like plumber tools or something, and putting a couple spikes in there. But regardless, looks pretty neat, kind of unique, very cool. And then a sword. So basic bamboo handle sword. You have that metallic blade here, the wood color of the handle itself. I don't see a sheath anywhere, but that's okay. Still nice to have. 4 extra hands. So this first pair is kind of like an open hand. So you see the 3 fingers and the thumb. Nice little hair detail on the tops of the hands there. You can see some more detail on the palms. Come around, you can see the socket to pop the ball joint into his arm. And you got both of them. See the fingernails also, they have like that dark gray color. Nice. Next set of hands would be a pair of fist hands. They are totally clinched, no openings, so he cannot hold any weapons with these. Same color patterns. Very cool. And then the final accessory, this looks like kind of a straw hat. So having a hat on Splinter I think would be pretty funny. We will check it out. Not sure if we're going to use it for him or not, but it's still nice. Looks like a bunch of straw just kind of tied together. A couple of holes popped in it for the ears. And then kind of wear it like a little sun guard. And now over to Splinter himself. So here he is. Now, first thing I noticed is when I took him out of the packaging, his tail was bent straight down. I was like, uh-oh, what kind of tail do we have here? So when I started moving it, I noticed, hey, I think there's a ball joint inside there, and it is. But also, the tail has quite a bit of flexibility. So I think there's probably a type of metal bar in there that'll allow you to flex it around and hold its pose, which is very nice, and I like that. Looking over, you know, he's got the robe here. That's kind of that reddish brown color, you know, traditional to Splinter. He's got some arm wraps here and some wraps down here on his shins and ankles. Look at the face. Got the white hair, you know, for the eyebrows, the mustache, and a little goatee. That very light brown fur. He has the straw, you know, overcoat that you can simply just take right off, and that'll give you your more traditional looking Splinter. He does have this overcoat here that's in brown. You can see it's quite old and worn. It's got some holes and rips in it. Underneath, he's got the black pants for his part of his gi, and pretty nice. I gotta say, he looks really, really well detailed. So gotta give it to JoyToy for this. But let's go ahead and check out the articulation. I think I'm gonna leave this outer robe on because it looks pretty nice. And we'll start up here at the head. So the head is on a ball joint. It can move down that far, up that far, side to side tilt, and it can rotate a full 360. Over at the arms, so they're on a hinge, and they can come out about that far. They can also rotate a full 360. That overcoat's kind of getting in the way, so we'll go backwards with that one. Let me see. Now, the ball joint here at the elbow can allow the swivel, but it is also a hinge, so you can swivel it around, angle it in, out, all kinds of good stuff. That's pretty nice. And then down to the hands. So these hands are both open grip hands, kind of a little bit larger than I think they would be looking as a fist, but they look good nonetheless. There you can see the inner peg ball joint that will pop that hand on and off. So if we were to take out one of the open hands right here, you can see we can pluck that right on in, and he could have that one. Or we can move over to a fist, and he can have that one. Very nice. I think for this one, we're going to go ahead and just use our open grip hands. Down to the torso, at the mid-torso, he's got that ball joint, which will allow a bit of range of motion. He can rotate side to side, back, forward. Down at the waist, there's another ball joint for some waist swivel, and that also adds to the range of motion he has up there on the torso. Moving down to the lower part of his inner robe, he's got the belt, and looks like that is fully attached, so that does not move around. Underneath, let's get down to the legs. They're attached at ball joints as well, so legs can come out that far forward and go that far back, that far to the side. Thigh rotation, double jointed knees, and then down to the ankle. He has a hinge at the foot. Foot can come up that far, back that far, and there's a little side to side pivot. There's a pin at the toes to allow them to fold forward and up. And then of course you got your tail, which we explained in the beginning. So lots of nice articulation here on Splinter. And I think we're gonna go ahead and gear him up. I'm gonna go ahead and put this piece back on just for, the purpose of the video, to see how he looks. So we're gonna toss that on him, and we wanna check this hat out. We're gonna go ahead and line those ears up into the holes, and there we go. Now it looks okay. It's not something I really see as a traditional Splinter, even though, it could be just like, I'm an old man, walking around my house, but I'm not into it. And I'm not gonna use this for my Splinter because I want him to look as cartoonish kind of as possible, and I think this is the way to go right here. Now, what are we gonna do with the weapons? I'm not sure, but I definitely want to give him his cane. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into his left hand. So we're gonna go ahead and get a grip on the top of that. I think I want to have him kind of crouched a little bit so that way he can hold the cane up and kind of out in front of him. Like he's having a little bit of trouble, but he can still move around a bit. Get that out. Let's see how that looks. Or something like that. And then for this hand, I think I'm gonna go with this kind of unique homemade sai here. Oops, these hands really don't like to stay on. They're made well, but those pegs are a bit flimsy. They aren't that great. But we can do something like this. Maybe have him holding it up like kind of in a pose as well as like yeah, you can try me, but we'll see what happens. So we're gonna go ahead, get some stuff out of the way, pop him up on the stand, get that peg in his foot. Maybe have this one coming forward, even though he should be using the cane with the other hand. I think this will work. How we're gonna set up our final thoughts here, I'm just thinking. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and toss the rest of this out of the way, and we're gonna go ahead and bring in some comparisons. First up, here is Splinter with the JoyToy 10-cent Crossfire. Here he is with the Hayatoys G.I. Joe Major Blood. And with the Zombie Lab Ashley. So you can see with the Splinter in 1/18 scale, scales well with other 1/18 scale figures. So now we're gonna go ahead and toss him up onto the turntable and give you some final thoughts.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will return after these messages.
Be sure to check out our previous videos. A link will always be pinned in the comments.
We now return to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, so here you have it, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1/18 scale Splinter figure from JoyToy. Very cool figure. I gotta say, this figure looks amazing. He has so much detail in him. It's like simply phenomenal that they can fit that much into this scale figure. Lots and lots of accessories. I really like the addition of the 4 turtles. I think that's one of the coolest additions that they could give you. You have all those extra weapons, even some extra garb to, you know, throw on them if you want to make them look a little different. The detail on the figure itself, though, that is very, very nice. Highly detailed. The articulation is great. Overall, just the maneuverability is phenomenal. He's really a well-built figure. They really took a lot of time, and especially with those sculpts, you know, getting details kind of like almost perfect, but really nice. I really like this too, this little accessory kind of makeshift sai that was like, looks like it was homemade out of some pipes or something and just ground down. Really neat. Overall, probably one of my favorite turtle figures that they've made so far. Just overall, I think the articulation is much better than the other turtles, as well as some of the foot figures that we've gotten. And I'm probably liking him up there at the top. We do still have a few more to go, and they're also still announcing them, you know, just steadily. So we're definitely getting April, we're definitely getting Krang, we're definitely getting Casey Jones. Not sure on the others yet. I guess we'll just have to see who they announce, and we'll go from there. But overall, great figure. If you're a Ninja Turtle collector, I would highly recommend this one, especially the Splinter figure. He is like so, you know, detailed and nice looking. Shorter stature, but he looks great, he moves great, and I love him. He's awesome. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. If you did, please, like always, leave that giant thumbs up, subscribe, tickle that bell so you're notified when we post future videos. Be sure to follow us on social media. Until then, we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Heroes in a half shell, turtle power.